what's up? Check out this blunt and honest review from the Jock and Nerd Podcast. That's us. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the jock.
He's the nerd.
And he's the rug boy.
What's up, guys?
Jock and Nerd. Okay, fellas, let's get to this week's movie review. We picked the wrong movie because we're not talking about Minecraft. We're talking about a movie nobody went to see. And that is the small independent film titled Freaky Tales. Here's your spoilers.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This movie has been around for a while. It premiered at Sundance last January 2024. Finally hits theaters this past weekend. On Rotten Tomatoes, it is sitting at a 71% critics rating, 88% popcorn meter. Now, this movie is such a small release that I don't really have a budget.
No, it's such a small release that I don't think at this point, it doesn't even have the plot spoiled.
It does not have a synopsis. It just has the premise. There is no plot recap on Wikipedia. That's how you know this was a small movie. In fact, the movie only came out in about 393 movie theaters from Lionsgate, and somebody's saying it opened to just $400,000 from those 393. The budget, I can't imagine it was a lot. I don't know if you had to guess. I don't know, 10, 20 million, something like that.
10 million?
Yeah, 10 million, something. This movie is written and directed by the duo of Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. This is a duo that comes from the indie movie scene, but then they did Captain Marvel movie and then went back to the indie movie scene, I guess. Starring, your main cast is Pedro Pascal, Ben Mendelsohn, but you have Jay Ellis as Sleepy Floyd, Ji Young Yu as Tina, Jack Champion as Lucid. You do have Too Short as the narrator and a cameo and a couple other fun cameos. The movie is rated R, quick runtime, 1 hour, 46 minutes. Anthony, let's start with you. I don't know why I picked this. The trailer got me. We decided to watch it. What happens in Freaky Tales, first of all?
If you don't edit it out, I will say that if we wanted to grow our audience, we should have done Minecraft. But
I'm not.
This is more up our alley, so I'm not mad about it. What is Freaky Tales about? The Freaky Tales is an anthology movie set in Oakland in around the 87?
1987, yes.
Around real life events. So the NBA playoffs are occurring, and it's about 4 different stories that interweave at different points of the movie, where each story is dealing with racism in Oakland, or an NBA player, or an assassin, or these singers that get a chance to perform with Too Short. So it's broken up into 4 parts, and has a little bit of this magic element added to it as well. So yeah, that's I think that's the best way to describe it. Quentin Tarantino, Pulp Fiction-esque.
It's a blend of genres for sure. So what'd you think after it was over? Opening thoughts. Let's start with Anthony.
Me? Yeah, I thought I liked it. I was entertained by the movie. I thought it's when you're talking about Oakland 87 vibes, it definitely captures that. It almost seems like a love letter to Oakland. The aesthetic and the costumes and the way it's shot, even the cinematography is all really well done, in my opinion. The interweaving of stories is fun. I think each individual story is interesting on its own. I think the movie is a little confusing with the magic. I didn't really understand what the magic stuff was. I thought that was a little odd. I also felt like the movie weaves in plots together, but it doesn't do. I don't think it's the best at doing that.
Well, explain the magic aspect.
I don't even know how. There's like green lightning.
Yes.
And I don't know. I don't really. I can't even.
It really seems like an afterthought. It really doesn't seem like it was meant to be there. But in each of the
stories, it helps the protagonist.
How? It doesn't. Everything that happens would have happened anyway.
I know. Right. But you see certain items light up with green.
Like the only time that they use it is at the end of the movie.
No, it's in each chapter. There is a moment where the green helps the main hero of the story.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be there. That's all I'm saying. The only place they're actually doing something with the green, like does the girl need the green magic to hit the guy with the bracelet? No. Does the girls need that green magic to help them rap? No. Right. So it's all superficial. The only time that you need it is with Floyd. For some reason they need it.
So we got to explain the commercial with Sleepy Floyd in the beginning. He's selling something called Psytropics. Did anybody even know what it was? It was some kind of wellness.
Mind control.
Is it mind control where you could tap into? Anyways,
I think so. The fact that you're having trouble explaining it, I think proves what I'm saying is that, and Rugboy seems to agree. Yeah. I don't feel like the magic portion of this really. I think the magic portion is supposed to tie everything together, and instead it makes things really confusing and doesn't work. But overall, I thought it was a fun.
I think
movie.
in spite of this stupid tacked on magic bullshit, if they took that out and they took out that last moment with Floyd with the finishing move,
where he explodes him.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think it would have still been a great movie. I think it would have been. I don't think I would have missed it at all if they would have taken it out, and I think it would have worked better. I also think that everybody in this movie has a kind of like a major role that helps move the plot along, except for the rappers.
Yeah,
the rappers really don't impact the story at all. They're just kind of like we just go on a side quest with them. So if they would have been able to, and I like the rapper characters, but I wanted to see them show up at the end or something and fucking have something to do or at some point. I mean,
the movie is
the rapper story is good. I think the only tie into the larger picture is that you meet the racist cop, but it's not driven by them. Right. It's just the racist cop is in
the
that
ice cream store. Yeah. I mean, the movie is so Rugg, you did think it was entertaining overall though?
I thought it was good for like a low budget movie that wasn't really aiming to do anything amazing. It was just like, I do have problems with it. It's like, it didn't need to be an anthology. It didn't need to take the stylistic things that it didn't do it enough to like make it distinct enough. So they were just kind of flavored a little differently. And I don't even think they needed to do that. I said it could have just been an interweaving story from different points of view, like Pulp Fiction, without any kind of mystery, and it would work better. Yeah. I think it would have worked better. It didn't need to be called Freaky Tales. It could have been called something else, and it could have been like Oakland. You just called it Oakland, and it would have been a better movie. It would have been a better to market movie.
So I also, for like a little indie movie, I had a good time. I thought it was fun. I thought it was entertaining and pulpy. I did enjoy the anthology, but your point of did it need to be anthology is a good point because I think you're right. But the VHS glitches and the 80s vibe, this fantasy history Oakland, I thought was great. This homage to like 80s movies. This stylized violence was crazy. The movie itself is all over the place, kind of like a mixtape. It's a blend of genres. It's like horror and comedy and action. And she's trying to make these things all fit. Now, I understand Anna Boden was from Oakland and like this was her youth. And I get that. Like, I've never experienced 80s Oakland, so I think I was missing a little bit of the relatability. But it reminded me of a Pulp Fiction, of a Go. It reminds me of Stranger Things a little bit. It reminded me of The Warriors, little Edgar Wright flair. She's pulling.
I see Robert Rodriguez.
I'll tell you, the influences they're pulling from, I love all these influences, but I think they fail to kind of make their own version of it. And this thing is so close to being like a great interwoven anthology, like a Go, a Pulp Fiction. It's
if it had another pass,
the stories just don't coalesce enough. It's not thought through enough at the end.
If they just had another pass and they didn't call it Freaky Tales or they took out the mystical shit.
So Too Short is from Oakland, and in 87 he put out an album called Freaky Tales. There's a Too Short song called Freaky Tales. I think that's where they got the title.
Well, while we're on the point of it being an anthology and not coalescing into the best coherent tale, I agree. I wrote down, one of the things I wrote down was it screams to me more homage than actually taking something and transforming it into your own. I think they tried to do that with I think the Oakland part works.
Yeah.
Like while I didn't grow up in Oakland in the 80s, I felt like I was transported there.
Absolutely.
I understood what was happening. I think the biggest thing for me is, again, the magic and also just the way they tie in the stories. I don't think it's as clean as you'd like it to be.
Yes.
Like there's fun little Easter eggs where you see Pedro Pascal right away in the first story, but it could be better. I definitely think Ruggs might have just said it needed another pass. I think that's absolutely right. I think maybe one or two more rewrites of it by the same crew, and I think they would have got there. But as it is, I think it's just a fun homage to everything.
It's more
else.
vibes.
I feel like it's also revisionist in a lot of ways because that punk club was very, very much very liberal, and punk clubs were not as liberal as they pertained themselves to be. And in the 80s, I know from experience, maybe in Oakland they were, I don't know. But also, hey, skinheads.
Yeah, so look, let's start. Chapter 1 is called Strength in Numbers, The Gilman Strikes Back. It's a punk club. It's punks versus skinheads. And here's the thing, is what holds the movie together is kind of the vibes and the pastiche of Oakland, I think, despite the stories not coalescing. But who doesn't love skinheads getting their ass beat? Like, that's always a crowd pleaser.
But
You can't go wrong.
Do you remember skinheads, Imran? You used to go, I used to go to high school. They would just be there. And there would be skinheads in your high school. Like, you could never do that now. But there was like a time where there was like in the 80s where you could wear your skinhead and your hair shaved and the flight jacket and the boots, and you could just go to school and like be part of and you imagine now, like you're not being a Nazi for just getting a Tesla.
There was like a non-violent skinhead. Yes, you're Tesla, you're a Nazi. You got a Cybertruck, you're a Nazi. No, but the kids were just into the music, right? So, I mean,
there was like the punk rock. There was definitely a element of punk rock that was skinhead. And remember American History X?
Yeah.
All those neo-Nazi stories. Remember watching Donahue and like Oprah? They were always the 80s were way more neo-Nazi than it is now, but we're using the word Nazi like the nonstop nowadays. So there was like some real Nazi shit going on back in the 80s. And it's like that's a good reminder of it. Like, oh, remember there was a time where like it was way worse than it is now, but we pretend that it's worse now for some reason.
This is also where, this green energy isn't featured in each of these chapters, and she's got this spiky bracelet, and the green energy comes to the bracelet, and she fucking drives it in the guy's neck, and there's like a slow motion blood thing. I don't know. I thought the punk fight battle was pretty good.
I hated the fake blood.
Yeah.
I love that the practical effects in the sword play scene.
Yeah,
which is way cooler.
I agree. The fake blood does take you out of it. Also, overall, I like this story, but the fake blood plus, it seemed like they killed these guys, but everyone just kind of ran off.
Oh, that's right.
Blood.
They were dead.
I didn't know.
He got stabbed in the neck, but he was fine.
Yeah, he got. I mean, there's people that are cut up. I mean, everyone has baseball bats with nails on them.
They had some severe weapons.
I was going, they're killing these. That's where they're going with. And then everyone ran away. So I was going, what is
they'll come back later.
The vibe here? Not in terms of the aesthetic of the movie, but what are they? It seems like almost cartoonish.
Yes. There are times where it's like campy B movie, cartoony. Times when it's it's a crazy blend of genres. Second chapter called Don't Fight the Feeling. You meet these two girls and they're in a rap group called Danger Zone. Entice is one of their names. I forget the other girl's name, but that's Normani and Dominique Thorne playing
Ironheart.
Those Ironheart. And they work at an ice cream store, and you meet Ben Mendelsohn, who's a racist cop, makes a lewd comment or whatever, but then they get into a rap battle against Too Short, and they do pretty good. I like the rap battle. I don't know what any of this had to do with anything, but it was a fun little hip hop interlude music piece in this journey, I guess.
The only other connection is they do the rap at the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah, that one had the least amount to do. And then the third chapter, Born to Mac, with our boy Pedro Pascal as like a hitman debt collector it's his last job. Tragedy strikes. He's got a pregnant girlfriend.
This is the most Tarantino-esque of it because It's got the Tom Hanks
There's
video
there's a
scene.
Tom Hanks cameo. That dialogue is straight up Tarantino inspired, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Or Kevin Smith.
Or Kevin
either
Smith, right? It reminded me of Clerks.
Well, also even just the setup where you see what's happened to him, and then you go, okay, let's rewind 24 hours and see
how do
got
we get here? So yeah, his wife is killed by the son of this dude he killed years ago, finds him. But then he goes to the record store and Tom Hanks is there and he's like, you know what the top 5 best underdog movies are? And he gives you 4 of them. We never get the first one, but I found out what the first one's supposed to be. So he says Rocky, and he's like, that's obvious. That's the obvious one. Number 4, Hoosiers. Number 3, The Dirty Dozen. Number 2, The Verdict. And number 1, apparently, he never gets to number 1. It's a movie called Breaking Away, a 1979 film that Roger Ebert called, quote, a cinematic miracle. So I was like, ooh, what's that movie? But that apparently is the number 1. But that cameo was wild. Wasn't expecting it.
That is wild that Tom Hanks is in this fucking thing.
Right? It lends a little bit of weight to it. Like, what the fuck is Tom Hanks doing in this movie all of a sudden? And then that leads to the 4th chapter, The Legend of Sleepy Floyd, where the corrupt cop's son is a skinhead, of course. He's one of the skinheads. That's why they survive. And they plan to hit 9 basketball players during the playoffs, right?
Yep.
And so they tried to tie in the other stories. And in the first chapter, there's a moment where the girl and the guy, Lucid, and the girl are on the phone. And they're like, hey, get off the phone. We got to fight. They overheard him at the diner. They call Sleepy Floyd, lets him know where the robbers are. And he shows up and fucking slices and dices.
See, I found that connection to be odd, too, because they hear it, but
they didn't know.
I don't know. In the 80s, would you have had the number to a celebrity?
I don't know how they got in touch with Sleepy Floyd to begin with. Sleepy Floyd also has a cameo in the movie, as does Too Short and Marshawn Lynch.
This is very, like Kill Bill
Yes.
vibes.
Yes.
I mean, he's wearing the Warriors tracksuit, Bruce Lee. I've actually found this one to be, even though it has the most action, found this one to be my least favorite.
Really?
Of the 4. Yeah. Because it ends in such a weird. I mean, him blowing them up.
So yeah, at the end, since he is the guy who's harnessed this power, his eyes glow green, and then this guy explodes in a practical effect that comes out of like Pee-wee's Big Adventure almost. Like I don't know what was that? I was like, it looked like a clay double, and I was like,
It was
what?
like Fist of the North Star.
Yeah. Yes, he does drive his hand through him, right?
Oh yeah,
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Just like an Invincible or something, or The Boys. It got to that level. It reminded me of The Boys.
I mean, I didn't mind that it being wacky, but I want the whole film to be like that.
It was just like this
But
last bit.
that's the weirdness in the tone is that part gets really violent, but then and he's killing people, but then earlier when they're beating up the people with nails and
none of
bats,
those people die.
they get cut up, but then they all walk away. It's weird.
CGI blood coming out of them instead. Yeah.
Also, I don't know if it was this. I think it was the story before, but when they're driving and the car rides off into the sky.
Oh,
what part? Remember that? Was it either part 2 or 3?
what
that was
I didn't understand
green
what that was
energy
about
with
either.
the green energy. It did it go?
But whose car was that? What scene? Which movie was that?
It was a bus.
I don't remember.
Was it 2? It was either 2 or 3. But I when that happened, I went, "What is going on?"
There's all this weird shit. There's also the detail
Because they do the prologue of it being a freaky evening and freaky shit happening. But what, like Rugg said, what's freaky about it other than just how weird it is?
So they don't really explain the green energy, but from what I can deduce, this is like the soul or the vibe of Oakland that's helping these characters or something. I don't know. It was very weird.
I mean, I don't need it to be super explained, but I need it to make a little sense.
Yes. I mean, the movie was over and I'm just like, what the fuck was that green energy? The fuck was it?
It just bugs me because there's a great movie in there
it was so
somewhere.
close to being like really, really good, right? It was so close. But I think this will be like a sleeper hit. Like it's a great kind of fun time, and the soundtrack's great, and the music's great, and but it was so close to being like a Go or a Pulp Fiction.
80s are still fresh, man.
Yeah, people still love the 80s. There is that detail of Clint, Pedro Pascal's character. His son is not dead, and the corrupt cop Ben Mendelsohn has him. He's got to save his kid, and forget what happens at the end. I don't remember.
Well,
he's
he's alive.
Yeah.
Ben Mendelsohn's got him, and then he leaves the house with the kid.
He's like, you fuck with the wrong warrior, and that's how the movie ends. He just walks away. Something. Weird.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I did enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I was similar to you guys. I think I was like, wow, this movie had something. It had a lot of the pieces in place. It just didn't nail everything. And that's not even like all little things. It's like big things that make you go, oh, yeah. I wish that was just a little bit better there.
Like the chapters were fun, but they didn't really have much to say on, It's
like eating like a really well-made pizza, but the crust is kind of like burnt.
Yeah, it's not holding it together. Yeah. You just fucked up one thing. And if it was just the thoughtfulness of bringing these stories, like you see characters in the backgrounds of other stories, of other things, and they were trying to do that.
Well, I just think that, okay, so if you have to serve the movie that you're making, right? So if you're trying to make a movie that's like a Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino, multiple viewpoint movie, they missed the mark on that a little bit because everything they need another writing pass. If they were trying to make a weird 80s Stranger Things thing, they didn't do that well enough either. Yeah. So none of those two different directions this movie could go and actually did those things. Yeah. And they kind of like did both of those things very weakly. So overall, even though they have a lot of great things that happen and good acting and I mean that Pedro Pascal one packed a pretty good punch.
That was like the most emotional.
And so they had some good stuff in there. It just they really needed to decide what kind of movie they were going to make and really make better choices. Absolutely. I think.
Yeah, I don't think it was a fully fleshed out idea. I think they were like, we want to do this. We want to make this movie with these kind of vibes, but we don't necessarily have the story fully thought through.
And that's what it ends up being. Ultimately, this is a movie about the vibes of Oakland in the 80s. Kind of like, this is what it was like, basically, and that's really about it.
I didn't even know Too Short was still alive.
Yeah, he's still around.
Oh, yeah, you forgot about the best part of the movie. When they go to the rap concert and then they open the door and he's eating the girl out.
That's right. They go in the wrong room.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, he's eating.
He's like, down the hall here. Sorry.
I gotta bring up something during the rap thing. Yeah. They clearly set these girls up to be humiliated.
Right.
And Too Short, is up there to battle them. In any rap battle, well, I'm not a rap battle aficionado, but I'm assuming any rap battle, usually Too Short's character, the main guy, actually goes second. He doesn't open.
He wouldn't start, right?
He wouldn't start the rap battle. He would, right? Because you would let him get the last word every time.
It's true. Dramatically, though, I see why they did it this way. Because you're like, oh my God, I hope these girls got something. And then they do. And you're like, oh shit, look at this. That's a good point.
I watched a lot of 106 in Park back in the day. And the winner always got to go second.
Yeah. Yeah. The challenger has got to go first for sure.
Yeah.
But not in the Oakland in the 80s. They're flipping up.
Apparently not in Oakland in the 80s.
So we got to rank it.
Yeah, let's give it a rating. Final thoughts, Anthony.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I my criticisms come from a place of, hey, this was good, and I think it could have been better. Overall, I'd go probably 6.5 out of 10.
All right.
Yeah.
Rugs?
Yeah, I'd go 6. It's good. It's a movie. You can see it. It's not a strong recommend because I don't know if anybody else is going to like it, but I thought it was cool.
I mean, despite it being kind of derivative, it's an original thing, right? It's not a remake. It's not IP. I appreciate the indie nature and the inspiration they were pulling from. I'll give it a 7. It's a fun time. And I think we need more movies like this. You got to make little small movies like this.
It's not a bad film at all. It's just, it's not quite, it doesn't reach its potential.
It doesn't, but man, if you're smoking a joint and watching this, it's fun. It'd be fun.
It's a good time.
Fun time with your bros,
It's a good time at the movies. I had a good time.
So the violence comes out of nowhere and gets you at the end, and it's just like, what the fuck was that? What was the green energy? All right.
It was Monster.
It was Monster energy drink.
It was Mountain Dew.
Electrolytes. Let's do some news from the nation.
Makes the plants grow.
It's time for news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Oh. You know what, fellas? Somebody did go see this movie. I got one comment posted on our Patreon page from Jose Ibarra.
Oh, Jose.
He actually was one of the other 12 people that saw this. By the way, there was like 6 people in my theater when I went to see this. And it was in the theater that's all the way down the hall and in the corner that nobody goes to. So,
yep. It's mine. I was in the Burbs, so I went to Village Crossing.
oh, that's where I went. Yeah. So it was in 10.
I was in 10.
Which is all
and
the way at the end. Yeah.
And then 11 looked like it was being made, like 11 looked like a crime scene.
Yes.
So.
When next door to Minecraft, the kids are just fucking rioting while I'm trying to watch this movie. Shut up.
Yeah, I was at the theater, and my theater was like maybe like 6 or 7 people, maybe 10 at the most.
Yeah.
And then mid-movie, right when Sleepy Floyd is just about to murder everybody, a family of at least 15 people comes in, all kids. No. And I'm like, please tell me that you are in the wrong theater because your kids should not be seeing what's about to happen. God. And they quickly I was like, let them figure it out soon. And they ended up leaving. They figured it out because someone said someone dropped the F-bomb.
Obviously isn't Minecraft. We should leave.
It's not Minecraft.
So Jose saw Freaky Tales. He says, although it wasn't a great film, I really enjoyed it. It was right in my wheelhouse. I'm a 90s kid that grew up on gangster rap and West Coast hip hop culture. Too Short, who was also an executive producer on this, was a staple of my childhood. He had a series of songs called Freaky Tales. Probably not the best thing for a child to be listening to. I listened to Too Short back in the day, just a couple of songs. I wasn't really huge into him. I liked some other West Coast hip hop guys more, but he's big. Too Short's a big dude. He's still out there.